I've been thinking a lot about the Venom movie recently. Well, more so than a healthy human being should be thinking about this film. We're now less than 2 months away from its release, and despite its best efforts, I just can't seem to get excited for it. Now, I've made my opinions on the matter pretty well known. I just don't see how they can make a Venom movie without Spider-Man being involved in any major capacity. Not saying that they can't do it, obviously Sony is, but it just feels wrong to me. A Venom movie without Spider-Man is like a Catwoman movie without Batman in it. But you know what? I'm gonna try. Today, I'm gonna try and figure out just how you can make a solo Venom movie without everyone's favorite wall crawler in it. And hopefully, I don't hate my own answer. Now, to clarify, I don't mean that they can't do a Venom movie without Spider-Man in general. Marvel has made hundreds of comics of just Venom that don't feature Spider-Man in any significant way. No, my issue is with the fact that the movie is telling the story of how Eddie Brock became bonded with the alien symbiote. And in that story, Spider-Man is very essential. Both the symbiote and Eddie Brock have personal vendettas against Spider-Man. The symbiote hates Spider-Man for forcibly separating the two and ruining the good thing the symbiote thought they had. You can sort of consider the symbiote a jilted ex-lover. In a way, yeah, they broke up, but the symbiote still harbors some really deep feelings towards Spider-Man. And Eddie Brock hates Spider-Man because he blames him for ruining his career and ultimately his life. So when the symbiote and Eddie combine to become Venom, they realize they have a mutual enemy and therefore a mutual goal: kill Spider-Man. So you can sort of see why I think Spider-Man is essential to this story. Without him, the symbiote and its host don't really have a goal, don't really have a purpose. And from the looks of the movie's trailers, particularly the first full trailer, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything even remotely similar to Venom's origin story from the comics. It looks like he's sneaking into the Life Foundation building after hours and then gets randomly attacked by somebody who's already infected with a symbiote. If that's the case, Eddie Brock gets randomly attacked and then becomes Venom, then it robs the character of what I think is its defining character trait: vengeance. Venom hates Spider-Man. They blame him for all the problems in their lives and want to kill him because of it. Making Venom somebody who gets a random infection robs the character of its driving force. Even later versions of Venom have some sort of vendetta against Spider-Man. The second Venom, Matt Gorgon, was already a Spider-Man villain before he became Venom. He was the Scorpion, so already he's got some problems with Spidey going into this. In the case of Flash Thompson, he may be Spider-Man's biggest fan, and he may have been portrayed as a more heroic Venom, but even still, there's an element of jealousy to the character that the symbiote could easily feed off of. He wants to be as good of a hero as Spider-Man, but thinks he can't be, and the symbiote can use that to increase Flash's insecurities. That's gotta make a man spiteful. And then there's Lee Price, who nobody really cares about, so we can skip him for now. So at the very least, this needs to be a movie about revenge. If it's just a movie about a good guy and a parasite who's kind of an asshole taking on corporate greed, is it even Venom at that point? Now, I say all this, but I don't really know what's going on in the movie besides what I saw in the trailers. I don't know the real reason why Eddie Brock is in the Life Foundation building after all. It's implied that Jenny Slate gets him in, but for all we know, he could have been taken prisoner. Perhaps the Life Foundation is trying to discredit him as a journalist after his first interview with them gets cut short. A big evil corporation would not want their dark secrets let out like that, so I can totally see them put Eddie Brock in a dangerous situation. And if discrediting him at his place of work isn't good enough, why not kill him? It's classic Hollywood megacorp sabotage, really. This way, after Eddie escapes, he's now mad at the corporation for putting his life in danger, mad at them for getting him infected with this weird thing he doesn't want. Same goes for the symbiote. I'm sure they did experiments on it while in captivity, and I'm sure it wasn't happy about that. Now that the symbiote has a human host, it can strike back against its oppressors. And now both of them have a common enemy. Both of them have someone or something they want to get revenge on. Sure, it isn't Spider-Man, but in this case, this will get the job done pretty well. Even if they defeat Riz Ahmed and the Life Foundation in this movie, the stage has already been set for a character based on vengeance. And to me, that's ultimately who Venom is. A man and an alien driven by vengeance. Now, it's still unknown whether or not this movie is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I personally don't think it is. However, if it does wind up being in the MCU and Tom Hardy's Venom winds up meeting Tom Holland's Spider-Man, then we can run into a problem. Because sure, Spider-Man wouldn't want a big monster eating people in the streets. He's gonna fight Venom, but there's no personal connection between the two anymore. After they fight, there's nothing separating Venom from a standard run-of-the-mill Spider-Man villain anymore. Now again, I haven't seen the movie and I don't know what the filmmakers are intending to do with the movie. For all I know, it could just very well be Mad Max getting living tar poured on him. But just think for a minute about how cool it would have been if they did go in this direction, if they did take the essence of the character, the main theme of the character, and pushed it in a new and exciting direction. I honestly think that's the best thing they could do. But again, they probably won't do that, and that's their prerogative. But at least we'll get a lot of scenes of Venom threatening to eat people. Now, how do you guys think the Venom movie is going to handle not having Spider-Man? Do you think they'll keep the theme of revenge, or do you think they'll have a new, more contrived theme that won't be as good as my perfect idea? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. If you're interested in reading some Venom comics, in the description below I put some Amazon links to some good stories I think you'll enjoy, including Lethal Protector, which is allegedly the basis for the film. Also the trade Birth of Venom, including the original Venom story by David Michelin and Todd McFarlane, so you can see where the character actually came from. Also the first volume of Rick Remender's run. Sure, that's the Flash Thompson Venom, not the Eddie Brock Venom, but that's a great story and I think you should read it regardless of what you think of the character. Also in the description is a link to Wulff Den Apparel, our clothing line where you can get great shirts, the greatest hat, all to make you look like something more than a turd in the wind. Of course, new videos every single Tuesday and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is Wulff Den Live, so subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend who is also curious as to how they can do a Venom movie without Spider-Man. I mean, really, it doesn't make sense when you think about it, but Hollywood is gonna Hollywood, and hopefully this will put your friend's mind at ease. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.